Get you every time.
For a team that has never been covered as thoroughly as it should be, how cool is it for you as a coach to see back-to-back slam covers, one for Fee, another one for Courtney and Natisha, especially with them just being so unapologetic to themselves.
Yeah. It's obviously a great time for our franchise and a great time for women's sports, WNBA in particular, and then obviously our franchise as one of the most successful in the WNBA's history. To have these personalities, to have the success that these players have had, to see them getting this level of attention is deserved, and so we're excited for them. And it's interesting that one idea, one small idea, can turn into something that it has for Courtney and T. And I think to be in this space now as professional basketball players, and you can monetize the way that players can these days, I think that's also an exciting development. And those two are doing great, and obviously they know the success of the Minnesota Lynx is a big reason why they get the level of relevance. And then obviously their personalities and they're authentically themselves. I think all of that is just for me, having been in the league for so long, coming from a time when that was not necessarily the quote the look that maybe the higher ups were pushing, or even for that matter businesses and Fortune 500 companies, and these guys are flying all over the country, and their brand is strong, and there's a lot of companies that are partnering with them. So it's incredible progress, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
To that point, what's the significance of them being able to capitalize off of themselves? They didn't have to alter anything. They didn't have to put on a face and we look this. They're capitalizing on being themselves.
It just speaks volumes to the progress that we've made, even though it doesn't feel like progress in the state that we're kind of living in now, where we're kind of trying to undo some progress that we've made. The train has left the station, if you will, and we have a society that's far more in tune to being different isn't bad, and a more inclusive space. And frankly, I always think about this. My journey was one that when you're in college athletics, being closeted, it had to be the case because it was used against you by your peers, by the way. Not just the families that were having home visits, right? You had to deal with that, but it was also your peers that would that there would be these innuendos about a family atmosphere, type of thing. So I went through that. I went through the early parts of the WNBA where we were beautifying what they described as beautified. Look at some of the early years of some of our players, and to make this progress now, 25 years later for me. It's an incredible feeling that you can authentically be yourself, because that's when you can bring your very best self to your workspace. And if you have to come and be something different because maybe your league, the higher ups of the leagues aren't supporting you, or your own organization's not supporting you, that's a bad place to be in. And so they get to show up now here in the WNBA. Everyone is embraced for whatever it is. And so that's such a great space for professional women's basketball players to perform at their very best and feel their very best.
How impressive is it that it just happened so organic? The Stud Buds wasn't pushed on people or forced on people or an agenda. It's just two people that were passionate and their personalities honestly fit it, but it happened so
in 72 hours,
in 70. Still trying to track down that programmer that made you an AI.
I know, it's crazy. I remember the day we were at shoot around. We were, Andrea was activating the team, getting ready for shoot around, and they said, "Hey, coach, we're going to have this. I don't know if it was a stream, whatever terminology they were using." And they said, "Guess what we're going to call it?" And they said, "What?" They were like, "Stud Buds," and they were high five, and they were really excited about it. And next thing you know, here you are wearing t-shirt, Stud Buds. It's a brand. And it is organic. It's authentic. It speaks to, again, I've said this, the success of the Minnesota Lynx, their involvement in that success. So people identify with them, and then now taking that success and then building it and building out in different ways so people can really see who they are as people.
I do have to ask, because people had a follow-up question on you dyeing your hair pink.
Oh yeah.
Could that happen on a Stud Buds live stream by chance?
I have not been approached by the programmers of the Stud Buds. I'd probably have to put them with my agent because it would cost them if I was on that stream. But I stand by the willingness to some version of pink in my hair. But we have to go through my agent on that one.
Since it's a basketball requirement to get that to happen on the basketball front, in a week of practice like this, where you're 6 days between games, seeing the same
we
team,
get interviews like this.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
You got New York, 2 more times. Is it practice? Is it like, are you focused a lot on New York stuff? Is it a combination of New York stuff and also big picture stuff, or just kind of what?
No, we've really tried to use the week to kind of self-scout ourselves and do things to us. What are some spaces that maybe we're not as efficient? Do we need to get rid of some stuff that we're running? So we're taking inventory of things, and then also try some things against ourselves. Also put ourselves in, as we're watching other WNBA games, work on situations that maybe you don't always get a chance to work on. So those couple days have been valuable for that, and then we'll turn our attention back to New York tomorrow.
We've talked about Jess a lot this season, just someone who's always done so many things, but especially in these recent games where she stepped into these starting minutes, just how much has her value of a basketball player and her talent just been under the spotlight in these games?
We were just saying this earlier as a staff, just talking about Jess's evolution. Obviously we had her in 2019, and we've always enjoyed Jess, the basketball player and the person. But where she left us in 23 and where she is now, there's a big jump, and there's a maturity to her game. There's a confidence to her game. She knows who she is. She's comfortable in her skin. I think growing personally, I think that goes hand in hand. When you start to feel comfortable in your skin and you have your identity and you know who you are, then that shows itself, as we were just saying, it shows itself when you're playing the game and professionally. So Jess is right now at her peak of maturity and how she's playing.